Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is me, attorney Hadi Harp, and I want to talk to you today about the management structure when it comes to your limited liability company. Typically, when you form a limited liability company, the default management structure is going to be member managed. This means that all of the members, also known as owners or shareholders in the LLC, but we call them members when it comes to an LLC. The default rule is that all members will be part of the management structure. They're going to be making day-to-day decisions. Every member has the ability to enter into an agreement and bind the LLC into contracts with third parties. Now, for small business owners like a mom and pop shop, a member managed LLC may be exactly what they need. It's not complicated. They're 50-50 owners. Each member has an equal say in decision making. It could make sense for a small business ownership structure. But when you get larger business ownership structures, you kind of want to step out of that default rule where it is presumed that all members have an equal say in the day-to-day business operations and decision making, including entering into agreements with third parties. And the way you can step out of that default rule is by electing to be a manager-managed LLC. A manager-managed LLC allows the LLC to designate one or more managers to step into that day-to-day business operations role, to make decisions in the ordinary course of business, and more importantly, to enter into agreements with third parties. Now, the way that you opt into a manager-managed LLC is through making that known to the entire world in your articles of organization. So when you organize your LLC, you're able to make an affirmative statement that the LLC is going to be managed by one or more managers. That way you take yourself out of the default rule where all of the members have an active say, and instead you are going to be able to specify in the operating agreement who the managers might be and how they may be elected. Typically, the managers are elected by the members, so the members still have a big say in how or who's going to manage the LLC. They can also stipulate what decisions must go through them versus the manager. And there's a lot of flexibility built into that. In fact, you can have a single member LLC or a two-member LLC that is owned by two individuals, that is manager managed, and you have the members serving as the managers. The reason you would do that is to build in future flexibility, because as a manager managed LLC, not only can members be managers of the LLC, but you can have non-members serve in that role. Maybe you want to bring someone on to manage the day-to-day operations and make decisions, but they're not necessarily going to be a member of the LLC. So you're able to do that in a manager-managed LLC. If this was a member-managed LLC, only members can serve in that role and make an active part and be an active part of the day-to-day operations and decision-making process. So you really get a lot of flexibility in a manager-managed LLC, and it definitely makes sense for larger LLCs with a lot of members, because you don't want 5-10 people trying to impart their decisions on the LLC. And even if you're able to restrict all of the members' actions in an operating agreement, you don't want the world to presume that those members can bind the LLC and enter into contracts. So putting the manager-managed LLC gives you the most flexibility, and it gives you the ability to put the world on notice that the members don't necessarily have the ability to bind the LLC. Rather, it is the managers. So make sure you look into who the managers are when entering into agreements with third parties. So that's a general rundown of manager-managed LLCs versus member-managed LLCs. The default rule is going to be member-managed LLCs. But a lot of times, and I would say almost exclusively, all the LLCs I help my clients set up are going to be manager managed LLCs for some of the reasons we just discussed. I hope this makes sense. Please, reach out if you have any further questions about this or related topics. As always, thank you. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon.